Coming up this morning on Daybreak, a local lawmaker is hoping to prohibit schools from requiring students to get vaccinations that are not required by the state. And the man charged for the stabbing deaths of his girlfriend and her son on New Year's Eve is due in court today. Also, an officer-involved shooting in Arkansas left one person dead. We'll have those details on what led up to the shooting. More this morning on Daybreak. Good morning and thanks for starting your week with us. Today is Monday, January 11th. I'm Jennifer Abreu. Joe is off today. Meteorologist TJ Springer will be joining us now with our forecast first. Good morning, TJ. We are still cold, but at least some sunshine in store for us, right?
Yeah, good morning to you too, Jen. Well, how was your weekend? Was it okay?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, I made it out to the farmer's market, which it was pretty cold, but I'm so glad they still have it through the winter. It's nice.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel like it's nice to get, shop local too, for sure.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I love about it. You can get honey, meat, all your veggies, and coffee as well.
We gotta go,
stuff.
Jen.
I highly recommend it.
Yes, we have to. And you said the cold. You mentioned that it is going to be a little bit cold here to begin our day. So if you are heading out, be prepared for that. But we will warm up, just not like really where we should be for this time of the year. Kind of similar to our Sunday. In Springfield, you can see that cloud cover glancing south and westward from our tower cam outside our studios. That is because of a system moving by to our south. And it's brought some heavy snow to at least parts of the region. Texas, Louisiana, I guess that's a little bit farther away, but nonetheless, it's regionally bringing some changes and cold air too. It's been cold through the weekend. We are in the 20s in Fort Wood, Springfield, Monette, 30 in Camdenton, freezing at the moment in Clinton. It feels more like the teens though when you factor in that wind, which isn't strong at all. 22 is that wind chill in Fayetteville, 14 in Harrison. So that is why you have to grab the heavy winter jacket this morning. We'll be back in the upper 30s for the ride on home from school after a cold start. We will have some of that PM sunshine too. As we head through the rest of our week, we are looking at another front moving in, and we'll talk about when that arrives and the changes it does bring to the Ozarks, Jen, in just a little while.
All right, TJ, moving on now. Today, Governor Mike Parson will be sworn into office in Jefferson City. Our Capitol Bureau reporter Emily Manley is live outside the State House where this event will kick off in just a few hours. Emily, good morning.
Good morning from Jefferson City. You can see here I am at the Capitol. We're actually on the South Lawn. You might be able to see behind me the stage where Governor Parson will take his oath later today, along with where his inaugural speech will happen. You can also probably see some of the chairs behind me. I'm told that there's going to be around 2,000 people that will be able to be seated here today. Now, although the inauguration is today, the event actually kicked off on Saturday. That's when the festivities started with a prayer service in Bolivar. That's Governor Parson's hometown. That's where more than 100 of the Parsons family and friends gathered at Southwest Baptist University for a prayer service. Actually, get this, his brother said the final blessing at the service. Now, today's inauguration also kicks off the historic celebration of 200 years of Missouri becoming a state, which officially happens in August. Now, like I said, the ceremony kicks off a little bit later today, but it starts at 11 a.m. It starts with the Missouri State Choir, and then after that, there will be a rare joint session between the House and the Senate, and they're actually going to convene right here behind me on the Capitol lawn. Then after that, some of the other statewide elected officials, such as Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe, Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft, Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe, they will also be here, and they will also be given the oath. And then at noon, that's when Governor Parson will be sworn in, and then afterwards, he will give his inaugural speech, which I'm told is expected to last about 15 minutes. It's still kind of calm here behind me. A couple of Governor Parson's staff members and crew are here, but other than that, I'm the lone soul here at the Capitol, but that's going to change in the next couple of hours. Reporting live this morning from Missouri State Capitol Bureau in Jefferson City, I'm Emily Manley, Ozarks First.
All right, Emily, thank you. We appreciate you being out there. And some more political coverage this morning. A local lawmaker is hoping to prohibit schools from requiring students to get vaccinations that are not required by the state. Since the approval of the COVID-19 vaccine, Republican State Representative Susie Pollock says this bill has been emphasized by colleagues in the Missouri House of Representatives. The bill, if passed, would prohibit public daycares, public schools, and public higher education from requiring immunizations that are not required by state law. House Bill 35 would also prohibit an institution from requiring a student who is exempt to get a vaccination, whether that exemption be medical or religious. Pollock says she filed the bill because parents said they were being unduly punished because of their choice to not vaccinate their kids.
It's just to protect the freedom for parents to choose what they want to inject their children with. It's not just for the anti-vaxxers. It's for people that just want the right to choose what's right for their family and themselves. And it's just freedom legislation. You know, we still live in a free country, hopefully, and we have to protect those freedoms.
Pollock has also filed a similar, more in-depth bill on the same topic that, if passed, would prohibit all schools in the state from requiring immunizations that are not already required by state law. Pollock says the bill has not seen any opposition yet, but in sessions previously, the bill has had some opposition, citing herd immunity for the people that are medically exempt from certain immunizations. Putting crime into focus this morning, 29-year-old Brandon King is due in court today for a bond hearing. King is accused of stabbing and killing his girlfriend and her 13-year-old son and stabbing a 14-year-old and a 7-year-old girl on New Year's Eve in Springfield. According to court documents, King is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, to which he pleaded not guilty. King is also charged with 1 count of child abuse resulting in death, 2 counts of first-degree assault, and 2 counts of abuse of a child, and 7 counts of armed criminal action. All the details and to follow updates on this story, head on over to ozarksfirst.com. The Newton County Sheriff's Office in Arkansas is investigating a homicide and arson. The fire department was called to a house west of Fallsville yesterday afternoon. While fighting the fire, responders found a man's body inside the home, and they believe that to be the homeowner. The Sheriff's Office said evidence at the scene suggested homicide and arson occurred, prompting them to look for 2 suspects. 34-year-old Stephen Stepp has been charged with first-degree murder, arson, and aggravated robbery. The second suspect is yet to be charged. Sheriff Wheeler said there are 2 children who might have been at the home during the homicide, but police have not located them yet, though they are following leads. Happening around the Ozarks, there are businesses in Arkansas that have experienced success during this pandemic that you might not initially think of. Color 10's Nija McDonald joins us in studio now to tell us how. Nija, good morning.
Yeah, Jen, well, good morning. The medical marijuana industry saw a 900% increase from 2019. Now, Scott Harden with the Arkansas Department of Finance says that the marijuana industry shattered everyone's expectations last year. Harden says the $180 million of marijuana sold in the state of Arkansas equates to 26,000 pounds, and he thinks COVID-19 has a lot to do with the increase in sales. One Fort Smith dispensary says it believes the stimulus payments have also had a direct effect on sales, adding the staff noticed a sharp day of sales when those payments were said to be going out. It's not just dispensaries that have seen an increase in sales. It's been hemp-derived products across the board.
Survived COVID very, very well. People were very stressed out, and so we turned to our vices when we're stressed. Of CBD, we saw a lot of people with anxiety during that time period.
Overall, Arkansans have spent more than $200 million since that first dispensary opened. But if you just boil it down to 2020 alone, it looks like sales are pushing about $180 million.
Well, all of this success is going a long way in supporting Arkansas's economy in the middle of a pandemic.
Our morning is starting off on a quiet note, but a cloudy one. As the storm system is impacting us to the south, we're looking at a pretty okay commute out there. On our Daybreak Live, driver photojournalist Tim has taken to the streets where things are smooth sailing, but we are tracking a warm up at our next front. We'll talk about when that arrives and the changes it could bring here at home to the Ozarks in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Jennifer Abreu, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist TJ Springer. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.